Oh, it says I'm live. Hey, this is strange. Well, hello there. It is me, Cauliflower. I am live, and that's a very strange concept to me as I'm trying to figure out right now um, how I can see the chat at the same time, even though, I'm getting way ahead of myself here while I'm just starting to film this video. But anyway, welcome to my live, which is basically me, myself, and I at this point. It's been a long time since I've done anything of the live nature because normally I'm pre-recording and I just throw up a video and I'm good to go on that. But for some reason, I was filming today and I was like, hey, why don't I don't know, just decide to throw a live up there just to see what happens. So this could get deleted immediately, or who knows? Who knows? We never know in my lives. But anyway, so I'm just gonna just kind of sit here and ramble. Hey, what's going on, Shannon? I should have known, Shannon, the second I turned my camera on, somebody was going to be out there. So if you could share this, or I don't know who the hell watches me anymore. Yeah, that would be great. This was not planned. Hey, what's going on? This wasn't planned. I wasn't looking to really do this. I was filming and then I was like, you know what? Let me just see what happens if I just throw something up there. So with I appreciate and thank you. I appreciate anybody that stops by. I really do. As far as like yes, thank you. These are not my nails per se. They are nails that I have put on because I was getting tired of looking at my stubby nails. But anyway, how have you been? How have you been, Shannon? How has everybody been? Whether you're watching now, watching later, sneak watching, hate watching. Yeah, you do have to catch my hauls. I don't think I hauled these yet. But yeah. I just actually filmed 2 videos. They're not hauls. It seems like I've been doing nothing but filming hauls or like trying on stuff. But oh no. Oh, I'm sorry, Shannon. I'm sorry to hear that. That's not good. I hope everybody's okay. I'm assuming that, you're all kind of just hunkering down together. But that sucks. Yeah. So that, this is how we start off is with COVID. I didn't even want to discuss the C word at all, honestly. I've been home a lot and I've been working on and off, when necessary. It's my fault. Yes, Shannon. Everything is Choly's fault. Don't you know that by now? Wasn't that like a hashtag? Hashtag Choly's fault. Yeah. So hashtag Choly's fault. It's all good. I have learned along in my journey that sometimes you just have to take it. So I'm taking that, and that's okay. That's okay. So what did I film today? I filmed my favorites for February and I filmed a get ready with me, which is what you see on my face, with a bunch of products that I had ordered. Oh God. Oh man. I'm surprised anyone watches me. Honestly, like subscribe count and views have not been honestly on my mind because honestly there's like lack of it in both areas. But again, I haven't really been doing this per se so long as I used to. And one of the things I've been doing, because that's me, I go back and I watch my stuff from years ago. And I think it's because I'm so nostalgic for the way I used to do things, because nowadays it's like I get on there and it's like I want to rush through it, or I'm just so like right now I'm kind of calm, but inside there's there's all sorts of stuff going on, because I know anytime I start a live or I leave a live up or whatever whatever case may be, I don't know. There are just some interesting things that happen. I think the last time I had a live might have been April. I know it was around the beginning of COVID when everything started. And, what better way to pass time but to sit there and to, talk and bitch about what have you. So I did the pet peeves video. I was actually thinking, like, maybe I should do an update to that pet peeves video because I had quite a lot to say. And, things change. Let's just put it that way. Things change. You don't always feel the same way about things or about people or just about situations. I know I was very like hardcore, like, social distancing and all of this stuff. And you know what? It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that you actually have to get on camera or any kind of like media and tell full-grown adults how responsible they should be. It boggles the mind. It really does. It boggles the mind. I thank God. I'm very, very lucky. Thank God. We've had very close scares. I know at my job I've had a close scare. I've had very minimal exposure, but we had so many cases at my job. Specifically, my daughter's school, we've had cases where she had to get tested because one of her classmates had gotten it. My niece's grandmother passed away from it. It was heart-wrenching, and it's just not something that you fool around with. And unfortunately, it's great that we have a vaccination out there, and it's great that more people that deserve to get it right now are on the frontline workers, and of course now the elderly. But there have been other categories where we are capable of getting it, but it's not available. And I'm in that category of capable of getting it, but it's not available. So I'm at the point where I can wait. I can wait until everyone that really needs it gets it. And then when it's available, when I'm not worrying about standing on, 350 lines or what have you, that's when I think I'll go and get it. And I read an article somewhere that high school students won't have it available to them until like the fall. It's crazy. It's nuts. Even though it's gotten better, it's still nuts in other capacities. And, going back to my video where I was complaining about social distancing and lack of people caring about, other people by not wearing masks around them. And I mean, all you have to do is come to YouTube. You see that on a daily. I mean, hello, half the freaking beauty community is partying and doing all those things. And I don't even want to go there because so many people ramble about it. But this is what I'm saying. It's like when you have to come and tell full-blown adults how to be responsible about something that we're clearly living in, it's really kind of irritating. So from April, when I first started talking about that, it was not just an isolated situation either. It was a few videos that I had seen of people collaborating or traveling or what have you. And, of course, Shannon, there's always one that I don't know how things work anymore because I don't go looking for people. I don't go looking for people. I don't go like scurrying around seeing what's going on. But Lord, does it happen to little old me? Like Shannon's the only one that's going to understand this, but not to be vague, but sometimes I don't understand other people when they make very publicly known and personally known. Oh yeah, Shannon. Oh yeah. Very publicly and personally known that they want nothing to do with you. Okay, great, we move on. But then you go and you find that they're commenting on a video and not commenting with words, commenting with, an asterisk or a little question mark. So, I don't know, like, I don't have any pet peeves with people. I don't have any qualms with people. I literally just live myself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, the days of wasting, yeah, go back to my April video. I'm not kidding. The days of wasting my time over how people feel about me are over. Oh, who knows? You know, I have gone through so much in my life pre-COVID now, and you know, I feel like we're all human beings and that we all have our no, no, not no, nope, 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 no, 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 no. This is more personal. I feel like we all have our own things to strive through and strive for. And, you know, going back and looking at a lot of my videos and the way that I was so carefree and happy when I first started, and then along the lines, I saw myself kind of like declining in emotional feeling of stability and feeling good about myself and about what I was doing. Not between like the times I started, like from 2012 to about 2015, I was having a ball. I was loving it and doing all the things I wanted to do. And then I got into the beauty community. Then I got into the beauty community. No, even that, I loved it when I first got into it. And then my dad passed away, and, you know, things kind of just went, you know, on a decline. Not completely, but, you know, you always know when you're headed for disaster, when you're headed towards a genre of things that you should stay away from. And we all know what I'm talking about. So, you know, but we all go through things, is my point. And now that I can look past that, and I can look at the way things are for me now, you know, I'm very, very fortunate that I came out of a lot of the things that I had, you know, previously gone through. It's not easy. And nowadays, when you watch people being canceled for this or canceled for that or this, that, and the other thing, a lot of people are being more held accountable, which I thought along the lines of that always should have been, because people were always held accountable for things that weren't their fault. And now that they were always their fault, now they really should be accountable for it. Like, no. I think, unfortunately, before some of the people that are young nowadays that are creating content, they look back and they saw what appeared to be very easy, you know, easy money, easy, you know, attention, easy on people, you know, giving them validation. And it ends up being a hell of a lot more than that. And when you go down the line and when you really realize and look back as a person, what can happen if you don't handle things properly. And that's unfortunately what we deal with now, is people do not handle things properly, especially on the internet. That it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And I've seen that happen to me, where it's like, you know, I'm here and then I'm in my own lane, and then I kind of crossed over into some lanes I probably didn't belong in. And then, you know, and then the decline. And now it's happening so much in the broader spectrum of YouTube than ever before. I mean, it was happening, but now it's happening even bigger than just the beauty community. It happens in every realm now. And, you know, you could sit back and blame the pandemic, but I think it started way before the pandemic. The pandemic just kind of worsened it, kind of put more of a spotlight on it. And so nowadays, now you've got people that have been doing these bad things all along coming out and going, "You're doing that now, aren't you?" And it's very interesting. It's very interesting what our YouTube community has turned into. So for me personally, I step back. I have opinions, don't get me wrong, I do. I have a lot of opinions. But I have stepped back from that. I have not really done a lot of commentary or, you know, like YouTube collie chat videos, which I used to love doing. And I almost feel like I'm doing myself a disservice by not doing that anymore, because I used to enjoy them so much, because we were able to just kind of like, you know, comment or discuss, you know, the things that were happening and kind of move on and venture into, it's not that serious. But unfortunately, nowadays it's serious. There's so many more things that are happening in this community that are now being shed light on. And it's like, wow, but why should we be surprised? Why should it be any different than music business, Hollywood, just any media, government? Why should it be any different on YouTube? Why? Because it's just people? Well, yeah, people are capable of fucking up a lot of things. And, it's dripped down into the small little internet community that YouTube is. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people come to YouTube for an escape. A lot of people come to YouTube as a winding down kind of a thing, or as a place to learn things or be educated about stuff, or to just be cheered up, and it became such a chronically toxic area to be in. And then when that happened, people started TikTok. I don't know. All I know is I'm a very simple person, and I enjoy doing the most simplistic things that I can, even though I'm a very complicated girl. Does that make sense? I miss the interaction of YouTube. I miss having an audience and having See, I knew you'd catch on, Shannon. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? You and I need to have a conversation. Anyway, I miss having an audience. I can't talk now. I had nothing. Nope, nothing. Okay. I miss having audience interaction. I miss having conversations. I miss, hearing people's opinions and commentary about stuff in this realm, not in the realm of commentary channels or drama channels. I'm talking about the stuff that we would discuss here on my channel, what have you, and hearing people's, opinions and things of that nature. So I do miss that aspect of it. I do not miss the drama aspect of it. I do not miss the messy aspect of it. I do miss a lot of my humble beginnings, and the way I started was so simplistic and so innocent and wanting to just, be in a community. And then I was in a very good community with a lot of really great ladies, and I miss them dearly. I still have a couple of them that I follow, but it's not the same. So, I was thinking of trying a way of getting everybody back integrated, but maybe not on the scale of the way I started. I mean here on YouTube, but not Facebook, because Facebook is I don't know, toxic area number 2. And Facebook, I haven't had my my account restored back to me since November. So I basically have been off of it and MIA because no one has a way to get to me. So the only way to get to me now is if you find me on Instagram, which I'm normally, or Snapchat. I don't do TikTok. No. Or here. And that's pretty much it. I don't do much social media anywhere else. And it's kind of hard to get people watching you again if you're not doing Facebook, because my Facebook page, my cauliflower Facebook page, was hand in hand the way I would advertise and how I would put it out there that I had videos or, things coming up. And so I've been doing a lot of thinking about that. And I was thinking of maybe doing a separate page for another aspect of not just cauliflower, but things that were relative to it. And that's my sample swap shop page. Boy, do I miss that. I miss doing those videos and having those ladies in my life, because it was just so much fun. And it was innocent, and we had a great camaraderie and a great community. And, it was something that we all were getting. We all were, getting subscription boxes or couponing or things of that nature. And then we would kind of just swap things out for stuff that we really wanted or that we weren't, really interested when we got it, but other people might be interested in it. So I've been contemplating maybe putting up a sample swap shop on Instagram. So if anyone watches this later on and they remember that and they have an interest in that, please let me know below in the comments section if that's something that would appeal to you, because I have been contemplating putting that together. Just to maybe just try to get something going, even for, I mean, not just for the people that used to be there, but for newer people as well. Just something that I, had been looking to do for quite some time, to get, people back into kind of just, liking the little things in life. I don't know. I don't even know half the time. I feel so, yeah, definitely, definitely. Oh, give a kiss to your little one and hug Shannon. I miss you. And we will talk soon. You can get me on Instagram. I think I still even have Google Hangouts. If anyone wants to know, if I still have my Google Hangouts. I just don't ever like sign into it. Like I figure like no, but who uses it anymore? But I do still have it. And like I said, I don't do the TikTok thing. I just, I mean, this is enough of a platform for me. YouTube has always been a platform for me where I felt comfortable enough to do it, even though I get very uncomfortable in certain aspects. What can I be talking about? But yeah, so let me know in the comments if that's something that you would be interested in. If you don't know what I mean, I used to have a sample swap shop up on Facebook where everyone that was involved was getting subscription services or couponing or having extra products or things laying around that they really didn't use or really didn't want, and they were looking to swap it for other products that other people had. And what we would do is we would post weekly, daily sometimes, the things that we had to offer up for swap, and then other people would express their interest and tell them what they had to swap, and then you would curate a box or a package or what have you and send it out to each other, and then that's a swap. And sometimes we would make videos on them, and it was just so much fun, and it gave everybody else that wanted exposure for their channels or for their groups or what have you, so and if anybody is interested in that, please leave it below. I will, check all of that later. As of right now, what I'm doing is just simply, the videos that I always enjoy doing, the hauls. I'm doing a lot more of the try-ons, get ready with me's and reviews and things of that nature. Not so much review products because I have gotten out of that game too. But I'm trying to get back into that a little bit here and there. But the one elephant in the room that I really feel that I know I want to get back into is having these kinds of discussions. And I used to do it live back in 2016. It was almost like this was a drama channel. This, for a very little point of time, turned into a drama channel. A lot of personal stuff and a lot of public stuff, and it was a twofold. It did me good in some aspects, and a lot of other aspects it did me in. So, I have that chunk of time to always kind of look back and reflect and learn from. That's the main thing, I think, is learning from it and growing from it, and just looking at yourself as a person and being accountable for the things that you weren't aware of back then, or that were shown to you, or were something that you saw later on. Because I do a lot of reflection. That's one thing that I do a lot of, especially nowadays, is a lot of self-reflection and a lot of reflection about my former relationships or my current relationships, or just things in general. And I've found myself now where it's kind of like at a stall, where I'm not doing the things I started doing last summer, where I was going to meetings, and I do here and there, but not as often. And I'm not talking to a peer supporter or a therapist. I don't do that anymore. But I think my mental health has been kind of like balanced to a point where I can handle things, but I feel like sometimes I really do need support. And I haven't really figured out that the way I'm going to do that, whether I'm going to, physically find somebody again or go back to meetings or peer support or what have you. But, there's nothing wrong with that. The other thing is, I just, I don't want to be that YouTuber. I don't want to be that person that wants to sit here and wants to join in, but I'm going to join in. I have been just at some of the things that have been going on lately in the YouTube community. And I did one react video, and I think it was like about a month or two ago, about Trisha Paytas when she first had the fallout with Shane Dawson. Because the reason I even did that is because on my channel over the years you will find that yes, I was a supporter of Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, not so much James Charles, not so much even Trisha Paytas. She kind of she was like a guilty pleasure for me. Like I thought she was just, I don't even know. I don't even know how to explain it all. But nowadays, now all of these are polarizing names. You bring any of these guys, these people's names up, and it's linked to some kind of polarizing situation or, situation. It's not even like you can even get away with just saying, oh, it was just like a little faux pas here and there. No, these are polarizing situations that have yet to be redeemed or be, I don't know what's happening. I really don't know what's happening. There's so much that you have to lend to maybe just the fact that things are not developed properly, or they should have known better, or they should take into account the kind of world we live in. And sometimes I think that's forgotten. So unfortunately now, especially the generation that we have currently, that is picking apart everything that has ever been prior to their life, because everything now is about being aware and awoke and just, like that's wrong, and pointing it out and making people accountable, which I like the making people accountable. I'm not so sure about the pointing it out so much. The pointing it out so much is becoming so oversaturated that it's getting to the point where other people who are on the platform don't want to make content because they're afraid that they're going to have the same issues come up for them as well. I look back on my stuff and I see some things that I go, oh man, someone's going to bring that up, or that's going to get brought up, or that's going to get said. And you know what? Even when I was doing back then, whatever I was doing, other things were being brought up from the time past. No matter what you do, your past is going to get brought up. I've come to that conclusion. Good, bad, or indifferent, mostly bad. When you do something in your past, it's always going to get brought up, because for some reason we always have to look at it as a learning experience, because who knows better than when you've lived through something than you do. So if you can't learn from that, then unfortunately you're going to get reminded. And that seems to be what happens a lot here on YouTube, is that there's a reminder and a reminder and a reminder and a reminder. So if you're not fully full of it by now, you've got all of this content to go back and look at it and go, geez, And, I've done that to myself, where I've gone back and I've looked at things that I regret going through, or that I've been, accomplice to, or akin to, or that I joined in on. And like, what were you thinking back then? For me, it's a learning experience. For me, it's something that I can take apart and say, well, that wasn't the best way to go about that, or that was not a good time, or that was, you jumped the gun there, And no one can make you more accountable than yourself. People can point things out to you all day long, and that's great. But, the only person that you have to live with at the end of the day, for whatever you've done, good, bad, or indifferent, is yourself. And that's when I say, like, being accountable is a lot more different than it just being, hi, Miss Pretty Lady, just being pointed out of all the things that you've done thus far, or prior to, or what have you, and even in your future. the things that you'll be doing ahead of time that at some point will be given back to you as a reminder of like, oh, you did this once upon a time and this is wrong and this is wrong and this is wrong. But it's also that people don't look at things as a growth. We just look at things as, oh, they're doing this and that's it. That's all they are. Goodbye, cancel. Now, I'm not saying that goes for some of our YouTubers. Because nope, these are adults. These are adults. Never mind the kids. We'll take the kids and we'll put them over here for now. The adults, the ones in their 30s, the ones in their 40s, the ones that are older, the ones that are young. Can they? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Pretty Lady, for saying that about my nails. But, the ones that people look up to that are older, that should know better. And unfortunately, they have this thing where they reciprocate in a manner of saying, well, that person is this, that, and the other thing, but they don't see that for themselves. And we are living that currently, once again, as we always do here on YouTube. I'm not going down the Shane Dawson trail again. We've gone down that trail. Let's go down the trail now of what's currently happening, and that's James Charles. And who didn't see that coming? Who didn't see that coming? That's been there all along. It's immaturity. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he was just a normal 21-year-old on the street, you wouldn't know of these things. You wouldn't care of these things. You would care if you knew this person personally, or if you were, they were in your community or what have you. Then you would care in another sense. But more people care because of how big he is and of who he influences. And unfortunately, he influences a lot of younger people, and this is where we get caught up. And unfortunately, when you put your private life out there as much as your public life, well, then of course you're going to get scrutiny no matter which way you go. The problem with him is immaturity. And that's not only from lack of growth, but it's lack of being developed in a very fast-paced society, very fast-paced community of, being a celebrity. You're a popular celebrity, which makes it even worse. If you're just a regular celebrity, but not this big popular uber, everybody loves you if they see you celebrity, well, there's that. But the funny part is that outside of YouTube, how big a celebrity are you? Because maybe outside of this little box here, people think like, who's James Charles? But unfortunately, our children are aware, and our grandchildren are aware, and peers are aware of who he is. And when you go and look to this person for some kind of value or some kind of education or some kind of entertainment, and all you're seeing is James Charles is a groomer, James Charles is a P word, it's unfortunate, okay? And it didn't just start now. I mean, this kind of stuff was happening even back in my day, back in my mother's day, people that we looked up to, or people that we followed, or unfortunately, especially child stars in my day, forget it. Who wasn't on drugs? Who didn't have, some kind of addiction? Who didn't have some kind of like background that was, really, really detrimental, or, parents that weren't the best parents or what have you. And we're seeing it with Britney Spears. I mean, we're seeing it with her, where she's not even in charge of her own life, that unfortunately she has a parent in charge of her life, and her life is just so like in a bubble, and so like I don't even know the reality of what that reality could be like for her. But the whole point of that is that celebrity definitely has an impact, and it doesn't matter if it is through television, movies, music, sports, what have you. There's a lot of polarizing situations, and a lot of people get into entertainment or art because of their background, because they want to be something else, something better or bigger than they were. YouTube, however, is basically, we came to it to enhance at least, or give normal, regular everyday people like us, I don't know, just a place where you are like, you can do your own little thing, and people catch on and they like that, and then it blew up into, again, celebrity. So with celebrity comes a lot of adult issues. And, what James had been through prior to all this with Jeffrey, with Shane, with Tati, if you couldn't look at it for what it was back then, you looked at it with a microscope. And you could see that, because it was a beauty industry or an entertainment industry, well, people will collaborate or conjugate amongst themselves, just like, any beauty community event or what have you. So, of course, he was going to make friends with somebody like Tati or even Jeffrey or, what have you, and their peers and whoever they were around. So, yeah, he was not very readily accepted into this community when he first was around. He was this little kid that people were making fun of. See, people don't remember that. I do. I remember the Manny MUA, the Laura Lee, the, like, who is this little pissant? Goodbye. You're not replacing any of us. And then he became bigger than that, all of them, essentially. So I think a lot of parts play into why things become the way they become. Now, this specific incident, which, by the way, is not part of any kind of drama, this is crime. This is a crime. This is something that, unfortunately, we give our kids phones and we hope for the best. And then, you find out months later, you come across that they're having interactions with a 4 or 5 year older person who's showing them nudes and who's asking them to show them nudes and what have you. And you would expect that from, I don't know, people in prison maybe, but you don't expect that from a very high profile, a very talented, a very, loved celebrity like James Charles. And unfortunately, this is what's going on. And at this rate, all the drama channels, all the commentary channels can talk about this till they're blue in the face about, oh, well, sure, so-and-so probably came out and said this because they want clout. Okay. Can we all stop saying about clout? What is it really to have clout? Really? Like, I'm gonna really pose this question. What is it really to have clout? Like, where are you gaining? What are you really gaining from clout? You're seen, right? So people see what happens, right? So they can make up for themselves whether they believe you or not. As far as clout is concerned, like, unless you're a person that does this for a living, that makes money off of this, that has this as your job, I don't understand where clout matters, because clout only matters to people that are actually monetarily benefiting from it. Yeah, you'll get some attention, you'll get some, somebody mentioning your name or what have you. But ultimately, what are you getting clout from? I never understood where people say, oh, yeah, sure, they're saying that about him because they want to get attention or they want to get clout. Clout for what? For something that is basically detrimental to themselves, to something that basically is not something like a bandwagon you jump on. It's not something that you want associated with you. Do you really want to feel assaulted? Do you really want to feel like somebody is grooming you? I don't think so. So I don't understand where people come off saying, oh, these victims, so to speak, or these young people that come out and they finally feel comfortable enough to do so, are only doing it so they'll get attention. Attention from what? Attention from what? The attention they are looking for is the attention for somebody to do something about this, for somebody to put a stop to this, for somebody to say to the person that is conducting this behavior, hey, not only did you make me uncomfortable, but it's wrong. And if you keep doing this, then other people are going to think that it's right to be doing that. And it's not. It's not. You're not somebody that is giving off this kind of like idolization where people should look up to that. No one is going to look up to that. They're going to look at you and they're going to say, oh, I remember him. Yeah, he does makeup. He's also the one that was sending nude photographs to 16-year-olds. Like, This is where accountability comes in, and not just in apologies, but in actual physical accountability, in actually looking within yourself and stating and seeing that, okay, bad behavior's been pointed out. This hasn't happened once. This hasn't happened twice. This hasn't happened this has happened multiple times, more than 3, 4, 5 times. It's happened more times. If you pay attention, it's happened a lot. And it's time that it stops. It stops now before you go into a further adulthood that just makes it worse for you. For you as a celebrity, as a person, as someone looking for a relationship, a serious relationship, a love relationship, where do you think you're going to be with all of this? Where a potential person, a really great person that really, really does want to have a serious relationship, what do you think they're going to feel like knowing this is in your past? This is something you've been doing prior to meeting them. That's not going to make them feel very secure. So I would implore someone like James that is currently, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. But I implore him to take some time to himself, away from all of this hoopla and away from social media, and really look into what he really wants with himself in his life, personally, not his celebratory status or anything, but I'm saying personally, and start working on that. And stop doing these things that you're doing currently. Because nobody sits back and enjoys that. I don't care who you are. Nobody sits back and enjoys the fact that, my daughter or my, my neighbor or anybody that could potentially be watching you is now seeing this, and they're growing up faster than they need to, because now they need to know why that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, as parents, we're trying to protect our children from not having to see all of these adult things so quick in their life. And unfortunately, with social media, they're seeing it quicker than ever. Like, our jobs are just becoming that much harder, because so many things are being so exposed constantly now, and by people that are beloved by our youth. And that includes, me as well. I know that people have watched me that were younger, and I know that I have said a lot of things, and I have been involved in things that I'm not proud of, that I was part of, and that if I didn't learn from those situations, if I didn't learn about the way it looked from not just the standpoint of, people who know me, but people who don't know me that would potentially like to get to know me and would hear this, that, and the other thing, that's traumatizing, because that there are certain situations where, you react when you react. However, behavior is behavior. And if you repetitively do something that causes yourself harm or causes other people harm, that's behavior that needs to be checked. So as far as that is concerned, I think that it really would do him a grand world of justice if he got himself some help. And that just doesn't stop at him. Okay, that doesn't stop at him. That stops at anybody his age or younger that engages in this kind of behavior and puts it on social media, period. Social media is not your end all be all. It should not be your dating app. It should not be your public, like, laundry, dishing out. All of that stuff, and we all get caught up in it because it's so easily accessible and so readily available. It can be such a twofold. It can be so great to do certain things and to feel like, you're accomplishing something, and at the same time, look at it from another aspect and see how much it can destroy you. And that's the bummer about growing up in this day and age, is that, everything is so virtual, and everything can be pulled up again, and it can be, retrospected again, and not always in the best light. So it's unfortunate, because me growing in this industry, this place, and I've had to grow through not just age, but just, humanly, and seeing people and seeing things that I was shocked that people actually did, or people did, just for the fact of wanting that kind of admiration or validation, or what people call clout. Like clout, that's great. You want a bunch of people to love you, amazing, terrific. But they should love you for who you are, without all of this, without all of this. And it's kind of like it is kind of hypocritical for me to say that, sitting in front of a camera, of a ring light, with makeup on, with fake nails and my hair done, and me having these discussions. But we're trying to represent ourselves in the best light, and we don't always do that. So with that being said, anyway, that's my take on, just the stuff going on in general. And, my brain sometimes just wants to spill out all the stuff just so I don't have to carry it with me. Can you recommend a good vitamin C? A good vitamin C. I'm going to tell you what I won't recommend. I won't recommend anything. Oh, vitamin C serum, sure. Mad Hippie. That stuff. And I have to give a nod to Maddie Hearts here on YouTube. Mad Hippie. If I didn't learn about that product from her, I have an exfoliating vitamin C serum from them that I'm almost out of. That stuff is amazing. And I've been using it for the last couple of months. And I know some people go, well, cauliflower, how come you don't talk about your skincare regime? Well, that is one of them. That is the one thing I do use. It's very good. It's not, there's no smell to it. There's no fragrance to it. There's no harshness to it. And it does do a great job of brightening. There's a lot of stuff on Amazon that I used to use. I have to go back, and maybe I should just do like an Amazon store, thing, not so people will, whatever. Let me rephrase that. Go back and do like my favorites on Amazon, because I used to get such a plethora of vitamin C serums on Amazon. I think there was a company called Valentia. Your skin always looks good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And again, makeup. Honestly, I will tell you, I just said this in my favorites. I have been using skincare from Shop Missy, and that's like under $2. But I do use the Mad Hippie. I use CeraVe cleanser, the hydrating cleanser. I use a makeup balm if I have to remove my makeup. And honestly, I don't just think it's products. I think it's also internal. And I'm not going to sit up here and preach about, what people should do specifically with their diets. For me, I made the choice to go keto almost a year ago now. Wow. Almost a year ago, next month. And ever since then, combining that with intermittent fasting, which is something you can learn about here on YouTube, I have never felt better physically. And it has done a world of wonders for a lot of things, for my skin, my hair. My hair is growing back in. It's healthier than it ever was. My nails are still in, the process. That's why I'm wearing the fake nails. But like muscle wise, and how I look and how I feel, and every week I see just like changes. So that has been a really big boost for me. I have, taken into account the things I was doing before. I was trying to be healthy, but I have taken more into account of like actually, removing certain things out of my diet. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat carbs. I eat, only like 20 net carbs a day. I keep track of that. I follow the ketogenic diet, and sometimes I carb cycle, which means like, once your body is fat adapted and you get used to keto, you can go into what's called cyclical keto, which is basically giving yourself more healthier carbs, like your vegetables and things of that nature, just to keep your body functioning, properly. Because if you do too much of something, obviously we all know we can get backlash from that, which I've been very fortunate and very lucky that I've had very few faux pas with the keto. The one thing I do have that I suffer with, and I think I started suffering with this when I got shingles, was vertigo. And that even I have a little bit more in control of now than I did before, because it was always started by stress. That has always been my major number one thing that brought me to a lot of places where I didn't need to be was stress and anxiety and depression. And, so when you change up things in your life, whether you choose to change up your diet or your mental health or what have you, it's a choice that you're trying to not just help aesthetically, even though the aesthetic part of it is amazing, but it's the internal parts of me that I always felt I had control. And I didn't, because I was, stress eating a lot of times, or not eating a lot of times, or eating sugar, or eating carbs, or drinking alcohol. And it wasn't doing my body any favors, and it showed in a lot of things, especially mentally and physically. When it finally was starting to scare me, is when I decided I was going to make some changes. So, after all that explanation about my skin, which I appreciate, thank you very much, but I don't attribute it to just good skincare. But if you do want some really good vitamin C serums, I will make a Amazon storefront, and I will put up some of the ones that I wasn't able to remember. But I do remember Valentia, which is in a white bottle, Mad Hippie. I think there was Oz Naturals, which was really good. So there's a bunch of like ones you can find on Amazon that are really inexpensive and organic and without fragrance and things of that nature. So I hope that helped. But oh, okay. I have 4 people watching me. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that I even have one person watching me. It's been a very, very, very crazy 2020, and 2021 is, it's kind of like getting over a really bad relationship. um you're trying to just like, okay, all right, it's finally over, but we still have like some of the debris left over that we have to like detox from, and that's what I feel like 2021 has been so far. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It does. Of course. Of course. And like I said, I'm no expert. I just did what works for me. I'm no expert because I just talked about this in a video, and this is one of the things I indulge in. And it's not necessarily the best thing, but it does help me as far as like physically, and that's the Bang energy drink for my workouts. And that's another thing, is moving. You need to get out there and move and be physical. And I went from working out 1 day a week at the gym to 6. I actually lessened it to 5 recently because my body needs time to recover from the things that I do. And but yeah, 5-6 days a week I've been working out, and it's done the wonders it has done for me. And I'm not a hardcore gym girl, and I'm not a hardcore like lifter, but I do a series of things that I like for myself, and I like what they're doing for me. So I think that's another reason why my skin looks good, is because I'm moving. And with that, of course, water replenishment is very important. Get your electrolytes in there and everything of that nature. Don't drink so much Bang. Even though it helps, it incredibly is such a help elixir as far as I'm concerned. But per se, I wouldn't say like, yeah, drink energy drinks, they will help you. You got to be careful with those things. Everything in moderation, as they say. And then don't restrict yourselves to a point where it's unrealistic. Don't restrict yourself knowing if you do this like hardcore, I'm going to do this hardcore, and then 2-3 days later you mess up or you slip up, and it's like you're going to become so mentally, upset with yourself. Then don't. Do it for the right reasons and do it gradually. And then if you are ready for that, hardcore strict or what have you, or whatever you do it, however you do it, loosely or intermittently, Oh, that's right. I forgot you're in California. That's right. Oh, gyms are still not open in California. That doesn't stop a lot of people. But you have beautiful weather out there. I've been wanting to get a gym mentioned. Yeah, Planet Fitness, that's where I go. That's where I go. That's my little escape as well. Sorry, I'm just checking the time. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks they're closed. New York opened up, thank God, thankfully, they opened gyms up like about a couple months down the line after COVID started. So thankfully, at first we were able to go back, and then we kind of, well, it's always been, I've always gone only like once or twice a week depending. Now I go like relentlessly every week because it's my way of just not only, I mean, I work out every day, but it's like this is like the more extenuating workouts, and it's also like my little haven too. I just feel like sometimes at the end of a week, I even with my own workouts and stuff of that nature, like I just need the release. So I love it there, and and my specific Planet Fitness is always kind of like real quiet when I'm there. There's never any like judgments or people walking around looking at what you're doing or eyeing you or what have you. So but California, unfortunately, yeah, I don't know, like you guys are really in the lockdown now. I didn't know that you guys didn't have gyms open, but it makes sense because as I go back to those people with bad behavior, they don't know how the frick to stay home or to social distance, and unfortunately it impacts more than just you know it impacts people wanting to do healthy things. Like you're holding people back here, by not following guidelines and doing the right things. You're holding other people back that want to do things for escape or for bettering themselves, and it pisses me off. Don't even get me started about that. But if you can work out at home, because that's how I full blown got back into exercising. Is I got myself some resistance bands and some I have some weights, and YouTube has got so many videos that you can follow along, or even yoga or Pilates or Zumba, what have you. Even like Wii games. Like went back and did Wii games with my daughter last week. And we threw on like the Dance Revolution game, or like the Michael Jackson dance game, and that was my workout for that day. Like it doesn't matter what you do, is my point, is as long as you move. Like even if you just go out for walks or a swim if you can, or like things of that nature, anything physical will make you feel so much better. I cannot tell you, and I'm somebody that suffered with depression all of my life. I cannot tell you how mentally it has helped me to become more physical in my life. As far as like exercise and being really disciplined with myself, I cannot tell you how that mentally has been helping me. It has done such a world of good for me because it keeps me disciplined. It keeps me not falling into the trap of negative thoughts or negative, I mean, yeah, do I have my moments of like, feeling insecure or, being like, what am I doing this for? Absolutely, I do. Oh, awesome. Me too. I have ankle weights too. I have to get heavier ankle weights. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm getting to the point of like, these are not good enough. Like, I have like the smaller ones for my arms, which ever since I started losing weight now, they slip right off. The ones I got for my ankles, forget it. I can't wear it around my ankles anymore. I have to wear it around my knee or around my, my calves because they keep slipping off. So I have to get heavier ones. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even small things like that, where like ankle weights are slipping off of me, rings are just coming right off of me because my fingers are thinning out. My jean sizes that are coming down, and the how do I put this? The cuts that are in my shoulders and in my back. It's just crazy. And I look at myself and I go, that's you. Because a year ago, if I look at my body and how I felt, it was a completely different thing, completely different animal. I was always self-conscious about certain things, and I was even more self-conscious, and especially with aging, you become like more aware of the things that are not working or not really looking that good anymore. And I was scared to no end to turn the age I turned. And, mentally I was running myself, right into the ground. Like, you're never going to make it. You're never going to make it. And if you do, it ain't going to be pretty, that kind of thing. So, yeah, exercising, the keto lifestyle, all that stuff has helped me tremendously. And, that's what I'm grateful for these days. And, and everything else, well, yeah, is it great? No, 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 not at all. Mentally, I do have my moments because I'm alone a lot. My daughter is here, but she's, doing her school stuff, but I'm alone a lot and I don't really have interactions with people, not even online, very rarely. And that's not by choice. It's really not. I don't really talk to people. They don't really talk to me. It seems like everybody's doing their own thing. So I just continue to do my own thing, and and it's helping me. And sometimes I get sad about it, but I journal. Um, I listen to music, I meditate, I do yoga sometimes, I, look outside, I appreciate what I do have, and I am very fortunate that way. So without me going into, without me going into that kind of stuff. But this is always good for me too. This is always good because I feel like I'm having like a vent session, like I'm having a therapy session, so to speak, with my audience, whoever does watch me. And and I just want to say, like, even if you haven't watched me and you're back watching me, thank you, I appreciate it. If you strayed and you kind of like, I don't know about her, like, I get it, I do, I understand that. Sometimes we just lose touch with people, or we don't really feel like we're on the same level or on the same, kind of whatever. And that's fine too. And it's also the way YouTube runs things. They don't really run people like me in the algorithm these days, but I still do what I do because I like it. I do it for myself. And I like who I've become because of it, throughout the bad, the good, the indifferent. So that is it. I really am, really very fortunate and very appreciative. And like I said, I'm just checking in. And I'm glad I could be here today. And if I help you with anything, I'm glad. And just let me know, like I said in the comments, about my sample swap shop idea. Or if you have any comments about anything I talked about today, don't hesitate to leave it there. It's fine. Yeah, but I will see you guys later. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, Ms. Pretty Lady. And I will see you guys again. Bye.